Yes, bank, just to recap what I said earlier in the morning, and so I can move on to my slide very quickly, is that we have developed two things in the bank in order to tackle the success, to tackle the small savings and make sure we ensure success from there. The first, what we have done is to develop a channel through agency banking in order to bring the bank close to the people, because we understood from study and research that these people would be a lot more attractive also if they don't have to spend so much money to access any formal financial services. So we developed that channel to enable them transact closest to where they are. And at the conclusion of our pilot, we got some very, very positive results about people's experiences since the agency banking was introduced in their areas. One key example, there are many, many fantastic stories, but one key example that still sticks in my mind is this lady who said, look here, the agency banking is so close to where we are. So when I am very busy with family chores, I just send my young child with the money, because they know the shop owner. There are people that have been transacting with, etc., for a long time. So there is some trust in there. They send the child to go to the shop and deposit the money for them, etc., and that saves them a lot of time. I felt that was a life-changing experience. You bring in a bank into the community, and community embraces it, and it fits in very well with their lifestyles. The second thing, which I will now be talking about more here, is the product itself, which is targeting the low-income people, which I mentioned in the morning. It's called a Fupi savings account, an account that's for people close to them. So the key elements of this product and the key drivers for our model, we designed it in such a way that we should be able to open an account out in the rural area where we have a sales team that goes out into the communities to promote the product and identify the customers who would like to subscribe to the product. And we're able to open this account right in the field, and the customer is able to transact it from that account as soon as we finalize the process of opening an account within an average of 8 to 10 minutes. What enables this to happen is that we've developed a phone solution. We understand that this target group, majority of them are not very literate. Actually, some of them are very literate. So paperwork was out of the question. So we developed a mobile solution which is linked to our core banking system. So the salesperson called Wednesday Bafu, a friend of Bafupi, when they get into the community, they interview the potential customers, enter their bio info onto the mobile phone, and then take a picture with the mobile phone, push through these details to our core banking system, and they have a starter pack which is pre-activated. As soon as this goes through the process, the salesperson collects the opening account money, which is just 1,300, and then the account is active. Immediately, this person is able to transact from that moment. And this is one of the key successes with this product. So the customer doesn't have to walk to our bank or any nearest bank to open an account. We go to them and open an account, and they can start transacting from immediately. So the startup comes with the PIN for the customer. It comes with the debit card, which they can use for their transactions at POS, at our ATMs. We've got one of the largest ATM networks in the country, and they can also walk into our service centers should they choose to do that. And there we have also created a point where they can also go and transact on the POS inside the bank. That's the part. And then the second thing about this product is that this target group, they also cannot produce the required documentation to meet the stringent KYC for our ordinary products. So what we did was to lobby the regulator and ask for a waiver to be able to open these accounts with the minimum documentation possible. So all the customer needs is to have a letter from a local chief, a maybe our chiefs will produce a letter with their chief stamps. They can't get a letter from a district council who can provide support that these people need. We know they come from our communities. Or they can use a voter's registration card like that one you see there, which is enough for them to come and vote. That's as much documentation as they need, plus the 1,300 Patch I talked about, and then they're good to go. Thirdly, is that I mentioned in my presentation that they can transact it at a number of channels that we have in the country. On our ATM, they can transact. They can transact at the agency. On the POS, and they can also come into our banking hall. The transaction that they can do at all these places, they can do deposits, they can do withdrawals, they can also check balances. And in the future, we are thinking of introducing other services like fast services as soon as the product stabilizes. So, so this is the product which is doing pretty well in Malawi. And very quickly, what are the key drivers for product for Malawi, from what we have discovered and from our experiences, both through the pilot and since we started the rollout? The more deposits is one of the key drivers, and I'll show you just now the model, how we model this. More deposits, obviously. A lot of accounts are needed because as you imagine, these are low balance accounts. So the more accounts you have, then the more success you have with this product. But it's equally more important is that those accounts should be active, that they should be transacted on. The moment you have most of these accounts going into dormancy, you have a problem there. So we have strategies, etc., that we put in place to make sure that we drive more activity, recruit more customers, and making sure that their immediate deposits are happening. And then equally important, because we're dealing with the bottom end of the market, is to keep the costs as low as possible. Today, we started rolling out with the mostly point of sale materials, but we also developed a phone solution, which is far, far cheaper. For example, the POS costs in the region of about 1,500 for us to set up the account for an agent. With the phone, you pay roughly about 150 US dollars, so which is almost a tenth in terms of cost. So we believe this is the way to go, but it's not possible that we can completely do away with the POS because of many other logistical challenges, etc. But that's the way to go in order to keep the cost down. So these are the four cost drivers. The effect of these, as when we did a modeling, we discovered that you need to do all these four elements together for us in Malawi, from our experience, in order for us to actually accelerate the break-even of the investment and then make a return on the investment. Okay. Able to show me how to do it before I switch it over? 2 points. Okay, good. Yeah. So, as you can see from this scenario, this blue line here, that's our base. This one, on the base, then we run a scenario. So if we increase balances, what will happen? And this is the lifespan of our project, the 4-year lifespan from the time that we rolled out. We found that, and the break-even line is here. We found that the baseline will take us beyond the life of the project for us to break even. If you just do more balances, we would still go past the 4-year lifespan after rollout without actually breaking even on this project. So, and then factor in higher balances and the more accounts, that would take us to a break-even at the beginning, towards the at the beginning of the 2018, which is the 4th year. But we found that if we also combine with the active accounts, if those accounts, the customers are actually depositing, withdrawing, etc., we will actually accelerate the break-even point towards the end of 2017 and be able to make a return on investment at the beginning of 2018. So it is very important that we harness all these key parameters and drive each one of them, because combined together, the returns would be faster to realize, and then we can build on from there. So finally, just to give you a quick snapshot of where we're standing today. We did launch our pilot in 2014, and we had a gala launch in 2014 in November, which was a red carpet launch, which went on very successfully, and then the media helped to amplify that. And since then, we've seen that the accounts have moved to 43,000 in just, actually this is after we rolled out. We've seen the accounts have moved by over 30,000 in 7 months. The deposits at 250 million, and the exchange rate has also robbed us of some good US dollars. In Malawi, we're experiencing one of the highest devaluations. In 7 months, we have seen a 67% dilution of the exchange rate. So at the time that we were rolling out, the exchange rate was at 450 Malawi kwacha. If that had continued, we would have seen much better dollars there. But now it is at 750 in 7 months, from 450 to 750. So yeah, so 250 deposits, an average balance of 5,900 kwacha per account. And then percentage of women, we were gunning for 60%, like I mentioned in the morning. That's one of the challenges that we're having on one of the key KPIs where we're having big challenges. We at 31%. We're putting in place some strategies and modalities to try and drive this KPI going forward, given the challenges that are on the ground. We have 32 service centers, branches across the country that in the foreseeable future we believe they will remain at 32. But what is very key is that all these service centers, they need to embrace small savings approach by being involved, visiting the agents, and the monitoring what they're doing to help the agency team, agency banking team, in making sure that they're doing the right things, that they are providing the excellent service that is expected, because the kind of customers we're dealing with are very, very sensitive to service. If they go there and they are sent back or something happens, chances of them going back, we have experienced, it would be they just decide that their money is still under the pin. So we believe that they need to experience good customer service when they walk into our service center or when they visit an agent. So service centers, we're taking them through trainings and coachings and also monitoring them to make sure that they're doing it. And today we have 223 agents. Our plan in 5 years, like I said in the morning, is to get as much as 1,200 agents, so that they are as close to the people everywhere as possible. We have a sales team of 81. This year we would like to close at 90, but this number will scale it down to 0, because the strategic plan is that the agents, once we successfully lobby the regulator, is to get the agency to start opening accounts, so that by the year 5, we should have the agency to open the accounts and we would not need to have these temporary salespeople. And then we can train them, coach them, monitor them, and then move on with the program. Okay, good. So that's about it, about Kakubi savings account and the bank. Thanks.
Thank you, Marcus.